A few months ago in chapel, Rev told a story that really stuck with me. He talked about a monk who meditated every day for years, searching for fulfillment. And Rev shared something that surprised me. He said that he believes happiness is overrated, and what really matters is moral ambitiousness and living a disciplined life of purpose. I kept thinking about that, and I realized I don't fully agree. Not because I think happiness is everything, and not because I think we should just do whatever feels good in the moment, but because I believe the real question isn't happiness or moral ambition. I think the real question is this. When you look back on your life one day, will you be proud of it? If you would be proud of a quiet life, meditating every day, finding peace and stillness, that's beautiful. That's your life. If you would be proud of a life full of action, building things, helping people, and chasing big goals, that's beautiful too, because that's your life. For some people, pride looks like calm. For others, it looks like action. For most of us, it's probably somewhere in between. But either way, it has to feel true to you. Because pride doesn't come from doing the hardest or the smartest thing. It comes from doing the thing you actually care enough about to show up for. Because what's the point of being successful, disciplined, or even happy if the life doesn't actually feel like yours? My name is Ella Yang, and that's what I want to talk about today. Not how to be the most impressive, but how to build a life you can actually stand behind when you look back on it. When we were 8 years old, life was pretty simple. You didn't choose things because they looked good on a university application. You chose them because they were fun. You joined clubs because your friends were there. You played Foursquare at recess because you felt like it. You picked things based on joy, not strategy. There was no 5-year plan, no resumes building, and no, how will this help my future? If you liked something, you just did it. Somewhere along the way, we forgot how to do that. As we get older, everything starts to feel heavier. Classes matters more, grades matter more, and suddenly your lunchtime is spent cramming for a test instead of actually relaxing. Every decision starts to feel like it determines the rest of your life. It turned from, what do I enjoy, to what looks impressive, what's strategic, what will make other people proud. When I was younger, my solution to everything was just more. More classes, more tutors, more studying. If something didn't go perfectly, my first thought was, I need to work harder. So I stacked my schedule with extra classes and tutoring, thinking that that would fix everything. But honestly, it didn't. I would literally fall asleep during those tutoring sessions. Other times, I would just zone out and stare at the wall. Not because I didn't understand the material, but because deep down, I just didn't care. And that was really hard to admit. We're taught that if you're not succeeding, that just means you're not trying hard enough. But what if sometimes you're not succeeding because you're trying at the wrong things? Effort only works when it's pointed at the right direction. Eventually, I had to be honest with myself and say, I don't even want to be here. So I made a deal with my parents. I quit everything. No more extra classes, no more tutors. I told them, let me figure this out myself, because right now, this isn't happening. And if it doesn't work and my grades don't go up, I'll go back. And my grades did go up by a good margin. Not because I suddenly got smarter, but because for the first time, I actually wanted to try. I wasn't dragging myself through something. I actually wanted to be there. And that changed everything. Last year, at the end of grade 11, I ran into that same choice again. I was planning on taking physics because it made sense. It was the logical thing to do. If business, which was my plan A, doesn't work out, I wanted to go into engineering. Taking physics was the practical and kept my options open. On paper, it's a responsible decision. But when I thought about it honestly, I didn't feel excited at all. Then there was chemistry, which strategy-wise makes absolutely no sense for me. I'm studying business. This adds to my workload by a ton. The normal course load is 6 classes. I'm taking 7. And AP Chem doesn't exactly help my future career. So people kept asking me, Ella, why would you do that to yourself? And the only answer I have is, because I like it. For chem, I like the labs. I like how messy everything is. I like the random jokes in class and the people I sit with. I even like making a bingo card for many times Ms. Peters says the word beastie. And yeah, sometimes it's brutal. I like the acids and bases test from 2 weeks ago, which was genuinely painful. But even when it's hard, I care. And I realized something really simple. When you care, you don't have to force yourself to work. Liking something doesn't mean it's easy. It just means the effort finally sticks. You stay after class. You pay attention. You laugh more. You remember things. and it doesn't feel like suffering. And it's not just classes. Sometimes it's the activities we commit to outside of school that test whether or not we're doing things that feels like ours. A few years ago, I ran into that same choice again, this time with debate. I had been doing debate for a while, and on paper, it looked perfect. It was competitive, impressive, and I was pretty decent at it. People expected me to stick with it. But the truth is, I didn't enjoy it. Every practice felt like I was giving a speech for the sake of giving a speech, for the sake of winning, for the sake of looking good on paper. I was working hard, but it wasn't for me. At the same time, I started getting more involved in public speaking. It was awkward for sure, but I wanted to be there. I wanted to prepare, perform, and I wanted to see if I could connect with the audience, learn something, grow. It was challenging, sure, but it felt alive. It felt real. So I made a choice. I stopped doing competitions. It was a little scary. On paper, it looked like giving up, but I knew I needed to follow what mattered to me, and that decision changed a lot. I became more confident, more focused, and I actually started enjoying the work I put in. It reminded me of something important. The right effort isn't the one that impresses others or looks good on paper. It's the one that matters to you. When you care, you stick with it naturally. You push yourself. You actually grow. The work didn't change, but the reason I did it did. And that's when this thought really clicked for me. Maybe we're trying too hard to impress everyone else. Maybe the only two people we really need to make proud are our past self and our future self. Your younger self keeps you honest. They remember what you loved before the world told you what was useful or impressive. They remind you of who you actually are. And your older self keeps you brave. Because one day, you're going to look back on your life, and you're not going to care about one random test or one perfect schedule. You're going to ask, did I live a life I can be proud of? Did I try the things I wanted to do? Did I live a life that is fully mine, or did I just plan? Because life isn't something that starts after university, after money, after retirement. This is it, right now. So maybe success isn't about building the most impressive life. Maybe it's about building a life that feels fully yours. A life your 8-year-old self will be excited about, and your 80-year-old self will be proud of. Because at the end of the day, those are the only two people who are going to be there for the whole journey. If both of them can look at you and smile, then honestly, you're probably doing just fine. You didn't plan your life. You actually lived it. Now let's sing number 26 in the Red Book, Your Love is Amazing. you.